Hi, everyone. Hello. We give it one more minute for people to show up, and then we're going to get ready to get started. Hi, everyone. Hello. We give it one more minute for people to show up, and then we're going to get ready to get started. Let's see. Okay, so it's 4 o'clock. I want to make sure that we get this going because I know time is precious, especially if you do have a little one. I don't know how many of you are going to be parents that are going to be joining, but I want to make sure that I keep your time in mind. So welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Nastasia. And yeah, I'm just going to jump right into it. The chat's right there if you have any questions or if anything happens along the way, any tech issues, just go ahead and quickly type something and I'll make sure to fix it. So I just want to jump right in. And I think that a lot of you arrived here through Instagram or through Facebook. So welcome. And I just want to get started. So let me open up my presentation here, and you already know the title. We're going to be talking about, going from hashtag mom life to hashtag boss, and this is the masterclass. And this is all about how I dropped the mom guilt, and I ditched my fears, and I stopped stalling, and I launched a business without having to really spend a ton of money or quit my day job. So let's just get into it, right? So I want to just check if you're in the right place. So are you either a mom with an idea but not a lot of time? You could be a dad who's just tired of not having enough time at home, or just a parent looking for balance in general, or you're a stay-at-home mom or a dad wanting more. You could also be a small business owner looking for growth, or just a corporate professional in transition. So if you are any of these things, you've probably been wondering, how do I start my business when I have so much else going on? And how do I find the money, right? And how can I how can I really turn my idea into a proper business? And what am I doing wrong? So Haida, I'll be answering all of that. Whoa, 3 stepchildren, 1 baby, 5 months old. Oh, yeah, I'll get to that. But I want to I want to get you thinking on why this may be important to you, right? You may have an idea, or you may be an expert in something, and you just know that you should be your own boss, but you're not sure how to get started. You don't know how to get started, and you know that if you knew more, maybe you do more, but it's been a slow process so far, probably because you've been on your own, or you're in a hamster wheel and you're just thinking, how do I start, or how do I break through the insecurities, or how do I live the life that I really want to live? So just imagine if you knew how to actually run your business with just 4 hours a week or 2 hours a week or 10 hours a week, whatever you have available, so you could actually create a life that gives you more time doing the things that are important to you, spending time with your family, or just time for whatever else you want. And imagine if you could actually get started for $0 while proving that your business is going to be profitable, so that you don't waste all those hours and all that money that could be better spent on all these other things that life demands from you, like your family. And imagine if you knew the exact steps that I took to start my business, and which helped a client actually save over $80,000 in professional help that she thought she needed, which she then used to put her daughter in writing lessons instead. And so here's what happened to me. And this is over the course of the last year. I launched a tech startup with these 2 other amazing ladies, and I'll get into that later, but it's an amazing startup, and I'm really excited about it. I vacationed in France, I vacationed in Brazil, I vacationed in Martha's Vineyard, I vacationed in New Orleans by myself, no baby. And those are just the ones that I can remember. And I also finally got this Joshua Tree vacation home that I've been dreaming about for years, because if you know me at all, you know that I am completely obsessed with Joshua Tree. And here's what happened to my clients. Cindy, a single mother of 3, was able to start a business. Sophia, who was going through a really intense transition in her life through illness and all kinds of family issues, was able to start a business. Paige, a single mom, was able to start a business. Charity, a single mom, was able to start a business. Rachel was able to start a business. And so the purpose of this class, hashtag Mom Life to Boss, is really to share the time management tool that I use to run 2 businesses, actually 3 now, and be there for my family and still have time for me. And also to walk you through the new way to start a business and prove that it's going to be worth your time without spending a lot of time, a lot of money or time on it, before you get started. And then also I'm going to explain how you can work alongside me to get your business started and set yourself up for success and attract your first customers. So who's this woman? Who am I? If you're new to my Instagram page, or if you just want to know who I am the founder of The Mind Designer. It's a leading practice dedicated to helping people launch their businesses. And I specifically focus on parents and underrepresented minorities. And I've launched and been part of the launch team for 8 successful companies. And I help my clients go from idea to money-making businesses when they had no experience, no time, and no money. And for almost a decade, I've worked in business development and marketing in Silicon Beach, so here in Los Angeles. And I also follow entrepreneurs that I love like crazy. I read their books, I follow them on social media, and I study startup journeys. I join email lists from entrepreneurs. I read business books, I read mindset books, and I listen to startup podcasts like it's going out of style because I love it. And when I take my breaks, I also love reading ghost stories, which is a weird thing that I do. So I've been working on my entrepreneur mission since about 2005. If I'm being honest, it's probably before that. But I've been dreaming big since birth, and that's me looking like a boss at, I think it's like 5 years old. So I've done a lot of things right, but I've also done some things wrong. So I'm just going to spill it all to you today. I'm going to give you the tea. So this is me in December 2013. I started a business. It was a business aimed at kids, and when I didn't have kids then, and I wasted over $100,000, and it failed. And so then what happened? I went back to my comfy zone, and I got recruited and promoted to director of sales at a tech startup. And it was all of the tech life that you read about. It's crazy parties. It's bring your dog to work every day. It's a brewery in the office. It's party every time, all the time, and free lunch and free this and free that. So it was like I was living that full tech startup life. I was making a lot of money, and I had a pretty cushy life. So then I quit to start a new business. But then right as I quit, I found out that I was pregnant. So what I did, because I was responsible, I actually did start working again. I was thinking, do I start this business now? Or do I get a job while I can before I become completely unemployable? So 3 months after my son was born, I actually did found a soulmate business partner, and we started a business, and I ended up landing a $40,000 client within just a couple of weeks of starting the business. And then 6 months later, I was actually running 2 businesses without investing a lot of money or time in either of them, while I was still enjoying plenty of free time with my new family, and I still had a full-time job. And I actually at that time helped my clients successfully launch as well. So Paige here launched a beauty tech business, and Etchna launched an entertainment business. And then I got a new client who hired me to do something new. And then I discovered that because of that new client, I was going to have to start a 3rd business. So I created and launched a 3rd business for no money, all from home, while still taking care of a newborn. So how did I go from failed business when I was child-free and pretty much carefree to successfully running 3 businesses as a new mom? So if you're ready to hear, let me know. Give me a yes. Let me know you guys are still here. And let's go. So I lost myself here. So how did I go from that? How did I drop the mom guilt? How did I stop stalling? And how did I launch my business for no money, all from home, while still taking care of a newborn? So the secret number 1 is just basically, how to run a business with just 4 hours per week, even if it's a really complex business. How to get started for no money. while still proving that your business is actually going to be profitable, and how to create a plan of action so you don't get stuck before you even start. So if you're ready to make it happen, we're going to get started right now. So secret number one, how to run a business in just 4 hours a week, even if it's really complex. All right, so I hope that you have pen and paper ready. I'm about to give you a lot of information. So if you don't, I'm going to give you like 10 seconds to get it ready, because I'm going to get started. So here's the answer to secret number one. But actually, before we get started, I want to see. So do you already have a business idea that you're struggling with because you have no time, because you have no money? Let me know how many of you here actually already have a business idea or a business. Okay, cool. So I got some yeses. Okay, awesome. So here's what I had going on when I started my third business, right? I had a 4-month-old baby. I still had a full-time job that I was giving 35 hours a week to. I had a coaching business that I was working roughly about 10 hours a week into. And I had a new consulting business. And I was still traveling. We have a deal here at home that we go somewhere at least once a month. Even if it's for a weekend, we have to travel somewhere. And I still had time to Netflix and chill. So this is all that I had going on. So you can imagine how time management was kind of a struggle here. So most people think that you can't have kids, work, launch a business, and do all three successfully. And here's what happens when you think that. You're going to stay stuck at a job that you're not in love with. And also you're going to be raising your kids to think that dreams can wait, right? And this is something that I say to myself all the time and to my clients all the time. You always get what you're available for. So unless you make yourself available to becoming a badass CEO, you're going to stay right where you are. And so the secret is you can find the time to create the business that you envision if you just make it a non-negotiable and you prioritize it. So instead of, I want to launch my business, but I don't have time for it, it's going to become, I'm launching a business. What are the best times for me to work on it? So do you see the difference there? One makes time my priority. So let's look really at how I actually get everything done. So this is an actual, I'm going to zoom in here so you can see. This is an actual page from my daily schedule. And you can see that everything is in there. Even journaling is actually in there on my journal. So I put in time for journaling, time for dropping kids off, time for eating, time for spending time with my family, time for, exercising. Everything is on there. And not only do I schedule literally everything on a time block, I write down what I'm grateful for every morning. And it's funny because I didn't realize until now, what I wrote that day, I'm grateful for the freedom to create my own schedule, which I truly am. And I do every day. I get to create my own schedule. And what I do is from 6 a.m. all the way to 9 p.m., every single task that I want to accomplish in the day is on the schedule with the time assigned to it. Now, here's the secret. Let me go back here. Let me go to the other page. Oops. That's too small for you. Here we go. Yeah, so if you notice, every single thing I want to get done is written down, and it's a way to visualize what actually needs to get done, keep myself accountable, and easily manage all the things that I juggle in a day while keeping my main goal in mind and staying grateful for where I am today. Gratitude is incredibly important. So another tool that I use to actually finish what I start is before I start a task, I write down everything on my to-do. And before I even put it on my journal, here, I'm actually gonna stop the presentation for a second so I can show you guys exactly what it looks like. Let me see here. Let me know if you can, there we go. So, okay guys, so here, let me show you what my to-do list looks like. And don't be overwhelmed by this because I'm not. So here's a sample to-do. You see that? That's a whole page. So what I do is I prioritize each task into 1, 2, or 3. 1 being super important, 2 being kind of important, 3 being could probably get it done later, or I could outsource it. Then I write down which project it's for to keep myself organized, whether it's personal, which clients it's for, and what the aim for that task is. Then I write the actual task. I give myself a due date. I give myself an estimated time that it'll take for me to do, so that when I put it on my daily journal, I know exactly the chunk of time that that task will take. And then I also do this, which is so important. Let me go back to the presentation so you guys can see. One moment. So then what I do is I determine if something is either draining, energizing, or neutral. This is super important. So for you to understand whether or not, like why you're not getting certain things done, you have to sort of understand why the thing's not getting done. So if it's a draining task and you're putting that draining task at the end of the day while you're already tired, you're not going to get it done. So I try to schedule my tasks by order of, in the morning, I'm super energized, so maybe I can put in some draining things in there because I know that I'll get them done anyways. And towards the end of the day, I put some energizing things to get ready for dinner. And whether it's neutral, I can sort of put them anywhere. And then I schedule it, again, I schedule for a time that I'm actually going to get it done. And then what I do is I set a timer, because a task will take as long as you give the time for it to get done. So if you give yourself an hour to get something done, it'll take you an hour. If you give yourself 20 minutes, it'll take you 20 minutes. So what I do is I set up a timer and I use a focus tool. This can be a million different things. So personally, I use Focus at Will every single day. It's a simple tool. You can go online, you can find it. And I set up a timer, and what they do is they actually create a soundtrack for the timer so that I can get things done in that time. But you can use free YouTube videos with Focus music, whatever you want to use. But for me, I use Focus at Will. And it's been working for me for years now. And it's my favorite go-to. I don't use anything else. And going back to the journal, I use the Best Self Journal. It's the one that I found that works best for me. It's completely changed my entire life. And I now know how to prioritize in ways that I didn't know before. And so it's a really powerful tool for me. So for me, yeah, Focus at Will and the Best Self Journal. And if you're interested, at the end, I can give you guys a little code. And full disclosure here, I actually wrote them yesterday. I told them I was going to be sharing this tool with you guys. And I said, hey, can you help my people out? So they actually gave me a little bit of a discount. So if you're interested in that, let me know and I'll hand that over to you. But you can use any tool that you want. There are many tools out there, but these are the ones that work for me. So do you see how manageable your time becomes when it's organized? It's simple, yet it's transformational. And for me, yeah, like I said, this changed my entire life, and it changed the fact that I could, between no business and 3 businesses, I think I really owe a lot to the tools that I use and organizing my time in an effective way. So let's recap real quick. How do I run 3 businesses, take care of a baby, and enjoy my life? I organize every single task I want to accomplish in a day. It's as simple as that. So you got to organize your day. You got to write down each task. You mark it as either energizing, draining, or neutral. You add it to a calendar in the order in which you're going to accomplish them. You block out enough time to get it done, and you use a tool to help you focus. And always remember to express gratitude for where you are now. The one thing I'm going to say over here is that I understand, for example, if you're a brand new parent and you have a nap schedule, right? Those can be so unpredictable. But I think the important thing is for you to also keep that in mind when you're organizing your schedule. If you're putting your kid down for an hour and a half, but you know there's a possibility that he's only going to sleep for 45 minutes, make sure that you put things in there for 30 minutes or 45 minutes at the most, so that if you can accomplish more, if the kid does sleep longer, you can actually add things in, but you're not going to feel like you're falling behind if things kind of go out of whack, right? So just keep that in mind as well. So again, I use the right tools to keep me on track, the Best Self Journal and the Focus at Will. And you get what you're available for. Unless you make yourself available to becoming a badass CEO, you're going to stay right where you are. So secret number 1 is, create a time block for each item on your to-do list in a physical journal, and use a focus timer for even better productivity. Oh, one thing, the Best Self Journal, they have a PDF version for free that if you really want to, you can print out every day and write it down. But I do recommend it. Of course, you can just use it online, but if you can print it, make it physical, it's going to really change how you work. Because, and I posted this on my stories the other day, the best way to get information from your head to your heart is through your hands. So write things down. And so meet Cindy. She is a single mother of 3 who started her own coaching business. And working together, we were able to remove blocks that she had, and she was able to get out there and actually launch her dream company after being years, I believe it was like 17 years away from the workforce. And she actually found it easy and fun. She's so great. So secret number 2, how do you get started for $0? This is my favorite thing. And how are you actually going to prove with no money that your business is going to be profitable? So most people think that you need a lot of money just to get started, right? And you also need a ton of professional help. And most people think that you need to have, your website needs to be beautiful and your product needs to be perfect and your offering needs to be a masterpiece before you can actually launch your business. And also people think that you need to hire all this other help, but you need to outsource everything because you just don't have the time to actually make it happen. And most people think, of course, you need a pile of cash, a lot of startup capital before you can seriously think of starting your business. So here's what happens when you believe these things, right? You spend all this time creating and planning the perfect product, but you actually still have no idea if your business will make any money once you do launch. And there's a typo here. You've been locked in your basement, in your kitchen, or in your office, and only to finally launch your product to crickets. That was me. I spent all this time, look at these beautiful things that I designed in the back. I created these illustrations. I created this beautiful packaging. I went to all the trade shows and nothing happened. So don't be like me, please. And so you spend money on designers, developers, manufacturers, hoping to create the perfect product before you show it to a single soul. And it's not about creating the perfect product. It's actually about letting your ideal customers tell you what your product should be before you spend money on it and time on it. So the secret is you can get started today for nothing by proving whether or not you should be making your product before you build it. So what's a proof of concept, right? So a proof of concept is just putting your idea in front of people who are most likely to be the ones that are going to end up purchasing your product, so that they can tell you whether it's something that they actually need and and how much they're willing to pay for it. So you basically just prove that the idea that you have is a viable idea, that you actually should be spending your time and efforts on it. So there are 2 ways for you to do this. You can create a short survey. So create a survey asking people what features they most like to see in your product. And then you can guide them by asking multiple choice questions. And then at the end, you can give pricing options and ask, like, how much would you actually pay for this? A, B, or C. The other option is to create a landing page. And you can create a landing page, and a landing page is literally just that. It's a page where people would land from somewhere else. And that page, all it has to do is just needs to highlight the problems that your product is going to solve. And then what you do is you run an ad for your product on Facebook or on Instagram or wherever, linking back to your page. And then you track how many people click and how many people actually sign up. So let me break this down even further. So here's the first option for your proof of concept, right? Is it hard to do? So here's the thing. It takes no time. It takes 20 minutes maybe. And all you have to do is you go to something like Typeform or Google surveys. I actually forget the name of the term. I think it's just Google Form. But anyways, both options are free. And all you do is you go on either option and you set up a very quick survey, something like 4 or 5 questions, basically just asking, hey, is this a problem that needs to be solved for you? If you could solve it in this way, is this something that you'd be interested in? How, on a scale of 1 to 5, how important is it for you to solve this problem right now? And if this solution were available, how much would you be willing to pay for it? A, B, or C? That's it. Simple questions, just getting to the core of what your product is going to be. And then once you create this, you just send it to all your friends and family. You post it on your Facebook, post it on your Instagram. You email to all your friends and family. You text to as many people as you can. And anyone that you can think of in your life who'd be your ideal customer, send them the survey. Say, hey, I'm thinking about starting this. This is something that I came up with. Would you be willing to spend 5 minutes completing the survey? And I mean, now, there's so many avenues for you to go and post the survey at. So you can go to Reddit, you can go to LinkedIn, wherever you're active at, just go ahead and post it there and get people's response. So then the option number 2 to creating a proof of concept is to create a landing page. So again, is it hard to do? No. So to create a landing page, all you have to do is go to MailChimp. And I hope you guys are writing this down because like I said, I'm giving you a lot of tools. I am the queen of tools. Anytime you need to do anything on the internet, ask me and I know how. Off the internet too. So set up a free MailChimp account. And all you're going to have to do is they have an option there to create a campaign. Once you go to create a campaign, one of your options is going to be to create a landing page. So as you can see in the picture here, a landing page is going to be really super simple. Just the name of your product if you have one. If you don't even need one, if you don't have one. A picture if you have one. Again, you don't need it, but basically just list some features. And oh, by the way, if you want to find a picture, there's a tool for that. So you can go to Pexels, or you can go just search free stock photos and find a compelling stock photo. Most likely you're going to want to put in a picture of someone's face because a smiling face tends to really connect with people, just so you don't have a blank landing page. So go find a picture, create a landing page on MailChimp, and just list a few features of what your product is going to do or what it's going to have, and create a simple space for people to give you their email. So what the landing page is going to do that's different from the first option of the survey is that people are going to come here from an ad. So this is the option for you to actually spend some money if you want to. But so people are going to land here from an ad, and if people are clicking and they're giving you their email, then you know there's an interest there for your product, right? If people are actually looking at your ad and going, that sounds like something I want, and they're clicking through, then you basically validated your idea. If no one's clicking, then you have to go back, rework your idea, maybe rework the ad, and see how else you can improve your concept, or see how you can change your landing page or change your product, change the features that you're listing to get people enticed to click onto your ad to prove to yourself that there's an interest for what you're trying to offer. So let's recap. It's not about creating the perfect product. It's about letting your ideal customers tell you what your product should be. So remember, you don't need a beautiful website, a completed product, a perfect offering, a team of people working for you, or a pile of cash. Please, please, please don't get stuck on building a beautiful website, please. And you need to prove before you do anything, before you even spend a dime, before you quit your job, before you decide that you're going to before you do anything, you need to prove that you're going to make something that people want. So the easiest way to do that is to let your customers tell you what they need, tell you that they actually see something in what you're trying to offer. And you need to start building your mailing list, because when you launch, those people that showed interest in the very beginning can come running towards you, cash in hand, ready to buy, so that you don't spend those months of uncertainty after you've created something seemingly perfect and nobody actually wants what you created. And trust me, there are many businesses that failed because of just missing this simple step. So the secret number 2 is run your proof of concept. You've got to prove that people will pay for your product before you make anything. And so look at Taryn. So Taryn ran her proof of concept with a simple ad and a landing page. So she spent nothing on the landing page and she ran an ad for $15 on Facebook. So when I say you gotta, put an ad up, I'm not saying go spend $1,000 on an ad. I'm literally saying, yeah, go put $15 on Facebook and see what happens. And now she has a team of 6 running her startup. And her proof of concept results were so impressive that she signed on an amazing, incredible, brilliant co-founder, me. So I was so impressed. She's a client of mine, and I was so impressed with her proof of concept and her concept overall and the response that she got from this simple $15 ad that I decided to actually put my time and my money into this business. So this is the kind of stuff that can come from you just simply proving that your business is going to make money. You get interest from places that you didn't even expect. So the secret number 3, how to create a plan of action so you don't get stuck before you even start. I see this on a daily basis. People get so overwhelmed by the number of things they have to do to start a business that they don't start anything at all. So most people think that there are 2 camps of thoughts. You either think that I don't need a business plan, I know what I'm doing, or you think that you need the perfect business plan before you get started. So yes, exactly. So Brienne, you don't need any of that. So here's what happens when you actually believe that. My 2 things, and I say this a lot, a failure to plan is a plan to fail 100%. So you actually do need a plan. But if the act of planning is keeping you stuck, you might as well quit while you're ahead because you're not going to get anywhere. So here's what happens when you believe that too. You're going to either keep yourself so busy and then you're going to wake up wondering why you're not getting anything done because it's so easy to just do busy work. Or you're going to get too overwhelmed to even start and you're just going to be stuck. So you're going to end up running around in circles instead of actually launching a business. You're going to end up doing a bunch of tasks, writing a bunch of plans, and never actually starting a business. So a business plan is not a business, and winging it also doesn't create success. And simple and done are so much better than perfect. So the secret is you can create a business plan today that's actually going to help you get started, and it's going to keep you on track, and it's going to show you the steps that you need to be taking along the way. So I'm going to suggest you create a lean business canvas. So what is it? So businesses are expected to evolve, right? So nowadays, a complex business plan, it just doesn't make any sense. It's too old school. So instead, give yourself guidelines to keep you focused on your mission, the problem that you're solving, and who you're serving, and actually also how you're going to plan to make money. And that's basically all you need. And if you have ever heard of the lean startup, or if you're familiar with the concept, the idea of a lean business, it's just that. It's a business that runs on very little. And so the lean business model, the lean business canvas, is going to be a business plan that helps you start small. So it's going to be a lean business canvas. It's going to follow sort of the same method as a lean startup, and where you actually do the minimum that you have to do to achieve a lot, using very little resources. So, I want to give you examples, like companies like Groupon and Airbnb, they wouldn't be here where they are today if they were too focused on their original plan. So a lean business canvas allows you to stay flexible while still having a very solid plan, and it will allow you to show this to investors, to a bank, to whoever, but it's not going to keep you stuck. So just to kind of go back to Groupon, for example, right? So the beginning, I don't know if you know the beginning of Groupon. So the founder, and now his name is blanking, it's escaping me. But basically they had this massive idea that they were going to connect the world through this incredible tool where you could go to this website and basically do anything. So they were like, we're going to change the world. People are going to be able to come to our website and they're going to connect on all these different things. So they were going along with that idea, and they realized it wasn't working. Nothing was working. People weren't connecting the way that they thought they were going to connect. They weren't really seeing a way to make money off this website. So they decided to look at what was working. So they dug around to where people were actually connecting on their website, and they found that there was one group, one feature on the website that was working, which was people were getting together in a group to go to this pizza place to get a group discount. So the CEO had this brilliant idea and said, "Hey, people getting together to get a group discount is working." So they pivoted the entire business because of the one thing that was working. So this is what a lean business model is going to do for you. You're going to be able to just look at the basics and not get stuck on your original idea, because that could be so detrimental to your business as well. You have to be flexible and you have to be able to shift and pivot when you have to. So keep it lean. And this is exactly what your business model is going to look like. That's it. It's a one-page business model that you can do in under an hour. So I'm going to zoom in so you can see what these areas are. So can you just give me a yes and let me know that you can actually see that it's zoomed in, so I know that it's working? Okay, so the first thing you're going to see that you're going to have to fill out is your problem. Very simple. Just write down the top 3 problems that you're actually looking to solve with your product. And no matter what it is, your product is going to be here to solve a problem, right? So write the top 3 problems. Make sure you write the existing alternatives, or who are your competitors and how they solve the same problem. Now you're going to outline a solution to each problem that you're actually going to be solving with your product. And then you're going to write down your unique value proposition, if you have one. So basically, unique value prop is basically just a single, clear, compelling message that states why you're different and worth paying attention to. And then the high-level concept is really helpful if you're looking for investment or when you're just giving your elevator speech to people. So a high-level concept basically is just, we're going to be the Groupon for diapers. We're going to be the X for the Y. That's basically it. So, and then you also list your unfair advantage, something that people can't really copy from you. So basically, this is like your thing, your secret sauce. You're going to list your customer segments. So list all your target customers or your users. And then down here, you're going to list your early adopters. So these are the people who are going to be your ideal customers. Like if you could reach the perfect person, who they're going to be early adopters. And then you're also going to fill in your key metrics. Basically, what are the things that you're going to be looking for to understand whether or not your company is successful? What are the numbers that you're looking for to measure whether or not your company is doing well? And then the channels are going to be, how are you going to look for your customers? Where do your people hang out? Where are they? And how are you going to reach them? And then the cost structure. Basically, it's like, what does your business need to function? What's the minimum? Again, lean. What's the minimum that your business needs to function? So maybe a bookkeeper or like accounting service or something like that. And finally, what are your revenue streams? So how do you make money? What is it that you're doing to bring in the revenue for your company? And that's a lean business model. So let's recap. So again, a business plan is not a business, and winging does not create success. Simple and done are so much better than perfect. So keep it lean, and there are only 9 essential things that you need in a lean business plan. And those are listing your problem, your solution, your key metrics, your unique value prop, your unfair advantage, your channels, your target customers, your business costs, your revenue streams, and that's it. You don't need anything else. So secret number 3 is a complete plan can be done in under an hour. And it'll keep you on track and focused on what really matters, so that when you're just stuck on, the color of something or finding the perfect whatever, you can just look at your plan and go, no, these are the things that I need to focus on. If I'm not focusing on these, I'm focusing on something that's extra that I don't need to put my eyes on right now. So it's great that it's going to be a 1-page document, so that way you can post it somewhere, you can put it up on your mirror. You can put it in as your background on your computer, and it's always there for you to know your core and what you really need to be focusing on. And so this is Rachel. Rachel's a perfect example of this. She was stuck on making these perfect videos, and they were perfect. They were beautifully lit, and she was always wearing these great outfits, and everything was just, I mean, impeccable. And she was also like wasting so much time on building her website and making it just perfect and looking for the perfect branding and making sure the brand colors were good and the logo was perfect. And she just forgot where her focus was. So, you know, working together, she was able to recognize her perfectionist tendencies, and she was able to move forward, even though things just were not as perfect as she wanted. But she was really able to keep herself accountable and actually finally executing her plan. So check-in time. I've talked a lot. I want to make sure that you're still here with me. So if this is at all helpful to you, give me a yes. I want to hear from you. Is everyone still here? Yes, yes, yes. Helpful? Okay, cool. So did you learn today? Did you learn how I actually dropped the mom guilt of thinking that I'm not spending enough time with my family, that I'm not a good enough mom if I focus on my business and put my business first? And so how I stopped stalling and actually launched a business for no money, all from home while taking care of a newborn. I hope so. So I also want to share this with you, because if you've already started your business, or if you're just starting your business now and you're on that path to launch, I want you to get a bird's eye view of what a conventional path to launch. I'm going to say this, and this is a conventional path that many, many, many successful organizations take. So this is what it looks like to actually launch your business, right? First of all, you have to live in the future. And what does this mean? You have to be someone who can really think of solutions that people need, that's something that's going to really make an impact, something that needs to be put out in the world. You can see what's missing in the world, and what you're going to do after you live in the future, after you have this idea, you're going to write it down. You're going to write everything down that you can see your product doing. You're going to write everything down that you see your product, who you see your product reaching. You're going to write down the potential of your product. You write everything down. And then you make a prototype. Obviously, after you've done your proof of concept, you make a prototype. You make the first one, just one, and then you show it to people. It's sort of like the survey, right? You can either create one and go to the local mall and just ask random people, say, hey, can you just check this out? I'm starting this company. Would you be interested in this? You can put it online. You can go do an Instagram live. You can do a Facebook live. Somehow put it in front of 100 people. Once you've heard back from 100 people, you iterate on your prototype until it actually makes sense and it fits with the feedback that you got from your ideal customers. And then, and this is such an important step if you are a parent, if you are someone with not a lot of time, if you're actually someone who wants to create something big, and I do encourage you to create something big, find a co-founder. So often we, especially women, tend to think that we're safe in creating something that's a solopreneurship, something that you can do on your own, this little business that you can run from home. And we're really selling ourselves short here. We can create big, big, big things. We can make the next Facebook. We can make the next Google. We don't have to find it so daunting. We don't have to play so small by creating something that's just us. So find a co-founder, find someone who you really connect with, someone who's really involved in this product that you created, who feels as passionate about this as you do. And then, and only then, you can register your corporation, whether it's a C Corp or a B Corp or an LLC, whatever. You figure it out, and then you register it, and then you look for funding. There are a million ways to look for funding, whether you're going to fund it yourself, little by little, whether you're going to do the friends and family round, or you're going to actually look for angel investors, you're going to do crowdfunding, whatever that looks for you. You look for the money needed for you to start your business, and then you launch. Obviously, you create an amazing marketing plan before you do that. You create your marketing plan, and then you launch. And then you follow up with your users, follow up with your customers, get their feedback. This is your first customers are your most precious tool. They're the ones that are going to tell you exactly what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong, and you should listen to them very, very closely. So if they come back to you and they're like, yes, this is amazing. Okay, well then get 1,000 customers. Once you get 1,000 customers, just grow 5% a week after that. No big deal. And then you keep growing for another 4 years, and then you're gonna have a million users. But if they come back to you and say, you know what, these things aren't working, these things need to be improved, then you just go back to the launch product after you've made those improvements, and you just keep making this cycle until you hit that, you hit that sweet spot where everyone's really happy. Whew, right? So it looks daunting. And why would I put this in front of you like this? I want you to know that you can create something big. All it takes is a little planning and a little foresight. But it's there. It's there for you to do. And this is basically what it looks like. So I want you to meet Paige. I really like using Paige as an example here to illustrate just the idea that I was talking to you guys about. Paige actually came to me with the opposite problem. She wanted to create something enormous. She wants to be this badass CEO with a bunch of people working under her, which I think is amazing. So she is my ideal client. And so when I met her, she's a single mom. She did still have a full-time job, and she was being pulled in a million directions. And so before she started working with me, she was really stuck in so many areas, but especially on her MVP, which is her first product, her prototype. And yeah, she actually didn't really know a lot of the terms and a lot of the steps that she needed to take. So we helped her scale back. We helped her focus on the core of her business and really put her on track to getting her product out there. So I love her drive and what she was able to accomplish by herself. It's really incredible. And then there's Charity, who I mean, she's one of my, now I can actually say she's one of my close friend, because I've been working with her for a couple of years now, and she has an incredible story, and I hope she writes a book one day. And she came to me when she was making a complete career shift. She was coming off a really bad accident where she had to learn how to redo a lot of things in life. And while she was learning how to walk again and talk again, she decided she was going to teach herself how to code. And she was still a single mom with actually no job at the time. So we started working together, and she got approached by the most prominent media company to write for them, and because of her business that we helped her start. So she is the proof that once you actually follow the steps, you can do anything. She's an incredible story, and she's a really, really amazing person. And so what's the truth, right? So the only thing that enabled Taryn and Cindy and Rachel and Gwen and Charity to really make a life-changing shift that helped them build the business of their dream was their investment in coaching. Because if they hadn't become my clients, figuring out a foolproof approach to planning and launching their business might have taken them years instead of weeks. So here's the other hard truth that I want you guys to see as well, is 90% of businesses fail in the first year. And I can attest to this because I've seen 2 of my businesses fail in the first year. And out of those that don't, 66% will fail in the first 6 years. And without help, only 18% of businesses are still operating after 10 years. While on the other side, 90% of businesses that invest in coaching are still open and running after 10 years. And so the truth is, someone taught you how to ride a bike. Someone taught you how to believe all the negative things that you think about yourself and taught you to believe that those things are true. And actually, someone also taught you how to play small. And so the truth is, you got to get a coach. You got to accelerate your process, because a coach can give you the exact tools that you need. And a coach makes sure that you stay accountable and actually do the things that you say you want to do. And it's been 4 years now that I have had coaches, And I will never, no matter how successful I am, ever allow myself to not have a coach. And so the truth is, a coach is going to expand your vision of what's possible. And without that, you're just going to be paralyzed by the magnitude of starting a business. And just think about all the time that you wasted and the attempts that you've had that failed. And this paralysis, or this idea that you can't do things, is costing you months and probably years of income that you should be making right now. And so the truth is that you're sick of not seeing your vision realized. You've read all the blogs, you've read all the books, and maybe you even tried launching a business or two and you failed, or you're struggling and you're no closer to having a money-making business. And sometimes you just can't find the motivation to do it on your own, and that's totally okay. And a great coach is going to give you the crystal clear idea and exact steps to take to achieve your business goal in the shortest time possible. And the truth is, if you take a great plan and try to implement it on your own, you'll have no support when you hit the obstacles along the way as you move towards your goals, and you will hit obstacles. And that's probably why all your other ideas haven't worked. So get a great coach. So you got to follow these rules to getting a coach, right? First, you got to find someone who's getting the exact results that you want and who knows the ropes. And then make sure that her clients are getting the exact results that you want. And then make sure that she has a process for doing the same thing for you. And then you do whatever it takes to get that person to solve your business problems and achieve your goals and your dreams. And so to recap, right? So how to ditch the mom guilt, the insecurity, so you can actually stop stalling, launch your business, even if you don't have a lot of time or money. You're going to create a business plan to guide you from today all the way to your first customers. You're going to get started with as little money as possible, and you're going to learn how to manage your time and prioritize yourself and your business. So now you have a choice. You can just turn off this masterclass and go about your life and not change anything. You can take some of the lessons that I gave you today and actually make some changes on your own, which is amazing, and I'm all for that. Please do that. Or you can work with me. And so how I can help you is, I have set aside some time in the next 48 hours, and I've actually had to clear some things out of my schedule to make sure that I had enough time to speak to you personally about how you can apply these ideas to your business launch journey starting today. And this is free. So before I give you how you can actually get to schedule a time with me, I want to be very clear on who this is for. You must really want to start a business now. You must have this desperate hunger to get started today. And you must be absolutely fed up with working for other people, and you must commit to whatever it takes to start your business. And you cannot be a victim. You must be willing to take 100% of the responsibility for your business journey. And you must be an action taker who is ready to do the work. And you have to be someone who doesn't mess around and is really serious about getting results. And you have to be willing to invest your new business. You have to be willing to invest in your new business with time and money. And because I have these requirements, you may not be accepted. So how it works is, we're going to get on a call for about, actually, it's going to be 20 minutes. Okay. I do things very quickly. And this is not a consultation. We're going to talk about your business idea. We're going to see how I can help you get your business started much faster than you could do on your own. And you're going to leave the session with absolute clarity about what you must do to get your business started. And again, this is free. And so all you have to do is you just go to sorry, this is wrong. rebrand.ly/Naz20. So that's rebrand.ly/Naz20. Because you need to bring your idea to life. You deserve to bring your vision to life. You deserve to have this business that you're dreaming about. So all you have to do is just go to rebrand.ly/Naz20. And when I say that I'm keeping this small and that I actually want to help you, I really mean it. I am starting, if you get accepted, you're going to be part of my freshman class of 2019. And I'm keeping this at 5 people. That's it. no more, because I want to make sure that you're going to get the same results that all my other clients get. You're going to be there with me. You're going to be there getting customized support. You're going to be getting my full attention. And again, I keep this small to make sure that you're served well. So rebrand.ly/Naz20. And now, let me see, I'm going to go back and then stop the presentation. And I want to just make sure I stay here to answer any questions. Let's see here. I know that Ida had a question in the beginning, and it was, so she has a project in mind. You have a project in mind, but you have 3 stepchildren and 1 baby who's 5 months old. So Ida, let me know, did I answer your question, or do you have any other questions about how you can manage your time, or just, yeah, let me know. What's your question? And there's a slight delay for your comments, so if it takes me a while, it's because I'm waiting to see it. But again, that's rebrand.ly/Naz20. I'm going to write it down here. And also, for those of you who did want to get the Best Self Journal, I'll put in the link for this here as well. You just go to bestself.co, and the coupon code to get a discount is just Naz. And if you also want to use, okay, so I have a question. So in the proof of concept process, what are impressive results versus non-impressive results? That's a really good question. Okay, so how are you going to gauge whether or not your POC is working, right? So you just set yourself a because if you get started, for example, with the landing page, and you're going to pay for advertising, you just set yourself a very small goal. Like, okay, I'm going to get 30 clicks. Okay, and if you get to those 30 clicks, that's going to be your proof. And depending on your budget, so if you put in $5, you know, getting 5 clicks might be a goal. So we're $15, maybe 30 clicks or 20 clicks is a good goal. If you're just sending out surveys to friends, you're going to gauge the success of your proof of concept on their response. If one of your questions is, how is it important for you to get this problem solved right now? And most people come back with a, then you have your answer. And then you're going to have to go back and sort of like change things around and change your product to actually solve something that people need to solve right now. Okay, so the next question by Annalise. So when you have multiple business ideas in many different areas, each equally possible, how would you decide which to pursue? Annalise, it's very simple. Which one sparks joy? Which one makes you most passionate about pursuing? And also, who are you most passionate about serving? Who do you want to help? Like my business now, my coaching business started as a coaching business for women in tech to work on their careers. But the more I worked with these women, I realized that all of them, basically, if not all, but 99% of them, at the end would say, you know what, I actually really want to start a business. And so for me, serving women who want to start playing small and want to do something big just sparks so much joy in me. This is not work for me. I love doing what I'm doing. So that was a quick way for me to gauge whether that was a good idea or not. So just think of passion, like write everything down. Which of your ideas makes you go, ooh, I'm going to do this. It's all about passion, because you're going to be doing this for a really long time. So you want to be able to do something that really, really makes you happy. So yeah, guys. So, there's also one more link here. If you do want to get the, let's see here, the focus tool that I use, and I really do use it every single day. Here's a link to that. But the most important link is going to be this one. Yeah, rebrand.ly/Naz20, and schedule your call. Let's chat. I want to hear about each and every single one of your ideas. I want to know what you're thinking about. What's your business that you want to create? How big is it? Because the bigger the better. I love people with big ideas. So yeah, schedule a time. Let's chat. Oh, cool. So, nice. I'm glad I answered the questions. Yes, it can still really overwhelming, right? You're this mom and you're like, gosh, am I a bad mom for actually wanting to create time for myself? How do I put my business first? What is that going to do to my kids? But I'm telling you, the more of an example you are of someone who doesn't let life get in the way of you starting your dreams or of you pursuing your passion, the better of a parent you're going to be. The more of an example your kids have of someone who's just against all odds doing what they want to do, the better off you're going to be as a parent. And I mean, one of the examples that I have is actually my own mom. My mom took so long to do what she wanted. And I actually ended up coaching her. I ended up coaching her into her dream career, which is singing. She'd wanted to be a singer since before I was born. And now she's such an inspiration to me because gosh, what could be more inspiring than someone who's, at her age, who's now all of a sudden getting paid to do what she wanted to do since she was in her 20s. It's amazing. So she impresses me every day. So now she's a hero of mine, even after all these years. So yes, go after your passion, create little chunks of time for you. Oh, so, okay, that's a really good question. So yeah, I was just about to go into this. So how does that all equate to running a business 4 hours a week, right? So because I have 3 businesses and I have a baby and I have a life and I enjoy my life. So, the other thing that I do, I run all my businesses in 3.5 days a week. I don't work more than that because I like to make sure that I have at least one full weekday with my husband so that we can do stuff without the kid. So every Wednesday we take our wedded bliss Wednesdays and we go do something. So I run my businesses in tiny little chunks of time. I'm not going to run as fast as I can and grow my business as much as I can because I know that my priority is the quality of life. So for example, I could, have 10 students join for this course right now, but that's not my priority. I don't want to be running around growing this business to a point where I don't have that Wednesday off. So what I did is I created each business gets at the most like 2 hours a day. And so I divide my days into these little chunks. And so when I say I run a business in 4 hours a week, is one of my business gets 4 hours a week. And then the other one maybe gets, another 3. So I kind of divide my day. Now I have the luxury of having a lot of time in my day because my kid is at an age where he's in daycare. Before, when he was at home, my 4 hours a week were nap times. That's all I had. Nap times were the time to run business, and that's how I lived. And so again, that's kind of how I run my business, is just chunking it out. And I value my free time more than I value anything else. So if you have more than 4 hours available, great. If you have 1 hour available, how can you make the most with that 1 hour? How can you chunk your time to make sure that you're accomplishing something? And the number one thing that you should really do is, like I said, is the timer. Create a timer for yourself. You say, for the next 30 minutes, I am going to create my landing page. And then tomorrow for 30 minutes, I'm going to write the features for my product. And then the next day after that, for 30 minutes, I am going to create an ad. And that's how you do it, little by little by little by little. And then you get to a point where things kind of run in a very smooth way. And then you're obviously going to get to the point where you can outsource some of the things, and maybe you can even scale back on how much time you're spending in the business. But that's essentially how I run things. So that's the lesson. That's the masterclass. I really hope you all got something out of it. I would love to hear from you. Please go ahead and book a time. Like I said, I have created some space in my schedule for the next 2 days. I would really love to hear from you. And I will hear from you all soon, hopefully. And see you later. Bye, everyone. Thanks for showing up.